so much for having me, Ramiz. So, like you said, can you see my screen, first of all?
Yes.
Perfect. So like you said, I am on our investor relations team here at Grayscale, and I too have some disclaimers that I need to read. So today's call is being hosted and recorded by the IRA Club. The call will be featuring Danielle Bibeau on the investor relations team at Grayscale Investments. All opinions expressed are solely my opinion and do not reflect the opinions of Grayscale or any of its affiliates. This call is for informational purposes only and is not intended to be, nor should it be construed as investment, tax, or legal advice, an investment recommendation, an IRA provider recommendation, or an offer to sell, or the solicitation of an offer to buy any security. Grayscale, its affiliates, and its clients may maintain positions in the digital assets or securities discussed on this call. And lastly, Grayscale products are distributed by Genesis Global Trading. So with that, sorry, I know it's a little long.
No, so thank you.
So with that, today I'll give a little bit of an overview of digital assets, and then I'll give you some more information on Grayscale. We've been in the crypto space since 2013, and then I'll discuss how to access digital assets, whether it's through your IRA, whether you just want to buy them directly, whatever's the easiest way for you. We'll give you a couple of different options. So cryptocurrencies are a really broad term that describes the whole asset class. All cryptocurrencies have two things in common. They're decentralized and they're built on blockchain technology. But really, it's just a term used to describe a form of digital currency that anyone, anywhere in the world can access. So it gives totally access to capital to anyone in the world. And they can use it to send money or to do many other use cases in a totally decentralized way. So like I said, there's a couple different use cases. The one that everyone's probably the most familiar with is going to be Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is seen as a store of value and sort of like a digital gold, something that people see as almost like a hedge to inflation, which is top of mind for a lot of investors today. And in the future, we see Bitcoin could potentially have a future state as being a peer-to-peer transactional currency or something like that. But there are other cryptocurrency tokens, such as Litecoin, that are more aimed at being these peer-to-peer transactions to allow people to send money anywhere in the world for basically free. There's also a subset of cryptocurrency tokens like DeFi or decentralized finance that are aimed at creating decentralized analogs for the incumbent systems that we have today. So for example, with DeFi, people can lend, borrow, use exchanges, anywhere in the world, decentralized, basically for free, and it's really democratizing access to capital. There are also cryptocurrency tokens that are focused on enabling users to have privacy in their transactions. Data services, things like LivePeer and Filecoin, are tokens for file storage and for video transcoding. There's also a whole subset of cryptocurrencies focused on gaming and play-to-earn gaming, which is a space that enables users and gamers to take ownership and get value, like real world value, for the time they're spending in game. So I've talked a little bit about like the use cases and kind of how people are thinking about crypto and how crypto has really become a useful tool in asset allocation and in portfolio management, but it's still such a small fraction of the worldwide markets. So you can see here, crypto assets all the way over on the left are only $2 trillion compared to fixed income all the way over there at 125 trillion. And obviously crypto has grown so much over the past couple of years, but there's still a lot of room to go and a lot of still growth opportunity. All that being said, obviously it's a really nascent asset class, really new, kind of comparable to like an early stage venture capital investment, something in tech, something like that. And it's important to think about the risks. So these are just some of the risks that could impact any one cryptocurrency token. So like I said, we're thinking about portfolio management, and like any other asset class, you wouldn't buy just one thing within that asset class. You wouldn't buy just one stock or one bond and call it a day. So you kind of want to think about how you're allocating your portfolio and how you're diversifying, like Ramiz said, within crypto. So these large cap tokens, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and obviously Ethereum are what kind of can make up your core positions. And then beyond that, you're going to want to diversify, if you choose to, into some smaller cap tokens. But these each have been around a little longer, have larger circulating supplies, but all still have their own unique characteristics. So whereas Bitcoin is kind of like a store of value, Ethereum is something that a lot of people and developers are building applications on. So these are your smaller cap tokens, and they make up a lot of the crypto market. But a lot of the time they have really ambitious use cases and ambitious projects. So investors might find something that really resonates with them, whether that's Filecoin for file storage, Zcash for privacy, Mana and Decentraland for the metaverse, basic attention tokens, something like that. And they might choose to invest, but when you're looking at it, they're a lot riskier. There's a lot more upside, but it can allow you to put a little bit of a different sort of risk profile into your portfolio. So with all that said, I'll kind of talk a little bit about Grayscale, who we are and what we do. So we've been around since 2013. We have a suite of investment products that allow investors to get exposure to cryptocurrencies through a traditional familiar equity vehicle. So instead of having to go out to an exchange and buy crypto directly and hold it in a wallet yourself, we manage all of that for you, and we package it up into like a familiar investment vehicle or an equity. So all of our products start out as private placements, which you can buy through a self-directed IRA, like at the IRA Club. And those are available only to accredited investors. After 1 year of a product existing as a private placement, and I'll speak a little bit more about what our products are on the next slide, we apply with FINRA to get a public quotation on the secondary market. And at that point, once it's approved, the public quotation can be bought and sold by any market participant. So an example of a product with a public quotation would be our Zcash Trust, which trades under the ticker ZCSH. The next stage in the product lifecycle is to become SEC reporting. We do this totally voluntarily, just to provide another layer of transparency to the SEC and to shorten the holding period for our private placements to 6 months from the 12 months for our accredited investors. So an example of a product that's SEC reporting is our flagship product, our Bitcoin Trust, which trades publicly under the ticker GBTC, and anyone can go buy it or sell it, and the private placement is currently closed. But when it's open, there will be times when people can simultaneously buy the private placement, hold it for the holding period, and then get liquidity through the secondary market. The final stage of our product life cycle is the conversion to an ETF, at which point we're able to simultaneously create and redeem shares. So currently we have an application filed for our Bitcoin products to convert that, but we do not have any of our digital currency products currently in the ETF form. So here's kind of a summary of all of the products Grayscale offers. So like Ram has said, we have a lot, and they really run the gamut from things you've definitely heard of, like Bitcoin, all the way down to a lot more esoteric tokens, things like LivePeer. We also have 3 diversified funds. One that's digital large cap, kind of aimed to give you exposure to the top 70% of the crypto space by market cap, and that trades publicly under the ticker GDLC. And then we also have our decentralized finance fund and our Grayscale smart contract platform X Ethereum fund, which is kind of aimed at providing exposure to more of the emerging smart contract platforms that we think will take market share from Ethereum over time. So like I said, Grayscale's products are really aimed at providing investors with exposure to digital currencies in the form of a familiar investment vehicle. So that means that you don't need to manage your own wallet. You can just have this and you'll hold it in your IRA account like any other security. So it means it's titled, we have tax forms, there's audited financials, you have the trust of the sponsor, it comes with built-in security. All of the underlying tokens are held in cold storage, so you don't have to worry about a lot of what you're constantly reading about with crypto, about hacks, about all of that. That is all managed by Grayscale. So of course, there are other ways to access digital assets. One is to buy them directly yourself on an exchange, and you can manage your own wallet. And for a lot of people, that's going to be the way that they prefer to own digital assets. There's also the option to get exposure through fintech companies, whether it's a mining company that is directly involved in mining Bitcoin, or whether it's a company that might hold Bitcoin on its balance sheet. The final way is through Grayscale, private placements and public quotations. And then something Grayscale does not offer, but for much more sophisticated investors, they might want to think about using derivatives like futures to get exposure to crypto. So Ramos can definitely speak more to this specifically about the IRA Club, but this is just kind of how, if you choose to get exposure to crypto through Grayscale, through your self-directed IRA, these are the steps that you would take to do that.
If I could jump in, Danielle, if you don't mind, just right before that slide. Yeah, so the process is really, if you're joining us for the first time, is done in 3 simple steps. It's open, fund, and invest with Grayscale. The process itself to open takes about 4 to 5 minutes, as I just mentioned. We just changed the formatting digitally on our website. Again, you just upload your driver's license photo, government issue IDs, such as I just mentioned driver's license, but state ID and or passport. Will take you straight into the application. So we're excited about that. But remember, IRA Club, it takes it a step further. So if it's an IRA to IRA transfer, contribution, some pensions or annuities, we'll actually do the work for you and get the funds over so you can invest a portion of your retirement fund with Grayscale. Sorry, Danielle, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted people to understand the options that they have to grow their retirement funds, not just within the stock market, but also in such asset classes like this. And this is very unique because you're not just tied into one specific coin if you don't want to be, right? So this is
exactly.
This is a diversified crypto portfolio at the end of the day, as she's just mentioning. So again, I didn't mean to cut you off on that part of it. So I just wanted people to understand how easy the process really can be.
Yeah, no worries. You're totally correct. So once you make your IRA Club account, the next step is to go to Grayscale's website, and that's where you can view all the information about our funds. You can download our investor deck. You can view all of our products. You can definitely reach out to me directly or to info@grayscale.com if you have any questions that come up during your process. And then once you're approved, you just complete the request for a private placement subscription, reach out to IRA Club, and they can get everything set up for you. And that's really it. That kind of brings us to the end. So here is my email. It's just danielle@grayscale.com. If anyone has any questions, we have some time for questions now, but anything that comes up after the webinar, definitely don't hesitate to reach out. You can also email us at info@grayscale.com, and we're more than happy to work with you for anything that we can be helpful with.
Thank you, Danielle, for a breakdown a little bit about Grayscale and adding digital assets to your IRA account. Remember, this is not really just tied into just specifically IRA accounts. You can use your own personal funds, and you can reach out to Danielle and her team at Grayscale. I did want to make just want to make that change so people could go ahead and see again. Before we open it up for Q&A, please forgive me again. There is a handout that Danielle did provide me that I did attach. So if you are joining us, please feel free to look at I believe it is an investor's pitch deck. So it's a great reference, a little bit about what you just heard. I already do have one question that popped up real quickly. Brett says, had a hard time reading the products, the placement products. So he's looking at his phone. Yeah. So what I can do, is there somewhere else that he can
Definitely.
see?
Yeah. So if you go to grayscale.com/products, you'll be able to see all of our products there. It's also in our investor deck on our website.
Can you, Danielle, can you see my screen real quickly? Maybe I could help with that. One second.
Let me share my screen and go back.
There, oh, I just popped mine on. Can you,
Perfect. Yep, I see it.
there
So
you
if
go.
you go to investment products, the drop down,
There we go. All products.
yep,
There you
and
go.
it'll come up right there. You can
There you
see all of our products. On each product's page, you can view more information like the ticker, whether it's available as a private placement or a public quotation. And you can also go to the Learn page on our website to learn more about any underlying token. So, maybe you like the idea of file storage, but you've never heard of Filecoin and you want to know how value actually accrues to the token. You could go to our Learn page and read our building block on Filecoin.
Great. Me and you talked about a little bit, if somebody just wanted to educate themselves, because we are really big on education. I asked you, is there something that you can provide? And you actually pointed out, since we're on the topic, or better yet, on Grayscale's website, you mentioned something here that they could look
Yeah.
into.
Yeah,
Where was
so
that
if you
located?
scroll up right there where it says building blocks, you can
There we
click
go.
on view all, and it'll show you all of the building blocks we have available. So these are all of the tokens that underlie our products. You want to learn more about Decentraland, Solana, LivePeer, Chainlink, whatever it is, you can read more about the actual token, understand how value accrues to it, understand the ecosystem, understand who's building there, and you can do all of that on our website. You can also, like I said, always just reach out to our team at info@grayscale.com.
Danielle, this is fantastic. For any of you who may not have heard of a coin or just don't understand it, this is a huge advantage. Honestly, I will be looking into this. I didn't realize that you had this section underneath
Yeah,
the.
it's a great resource. We also publish reports. For example, we have a smart contract report. If you just want to learn more about smart contract platforms, we have our deeper dive webinar series where we get on with founders of these protocols and actually talk to them about what their protocol is and what they do.
Wow, that is great. That is fantastic. I hope you guys use this as to your resource. That is a big deal to have that for any of you that really do not understand the crypto space. Another question from John. Can you please talk a little bit about fee structures? John, I'm
Yeah.
not sure if you're referring to IRA Club or Grayscale. For IRA Club, if you're an IRA Club member, it's $135. If you're new to IRA Club, it's $175 to establish the account per year. We could talk a little bit more about that, or if you're planning on rolling funds over from an old employer's plan, or if you're doing an IRA transfer, our team will help you or facilitate that for you. But again, the fee structure is $175 per year and $135 per asset. If it is Grayscale, maybe you're referring to Grayscale, please, Daniela.
Yeah, so on Grayscale, our Bitcoin Trust is a 2% annual fee. All of our other products are 2.5% annually. That is taken out in kind from the underlying. So over the course of 365 days, the amount of Bitcoin that underlies GBTC will reduce by 2%, or you can think of it as 2% divided by 365 every day you're paying to Grayscale. You're paying it directly in Bitcoin, so you never actually have to write us a check or anything like that. It just comes out of the underlying, and that is the only fee. There are no performance fees or additional fees or anything like that, just the management fee.
Got a gentleman, Eric. So just so we're clear, this is not publicly traded. No, these are not publicly traded funds, correct?
So some of them are. So for
Oh,
example,
thank you.
yeah, so you can buy a number of our funds publicly traded. All of the tickers are on our website. For Bitcoin, it is GBTC, and you can buy that in any brokerage account, in an IRA, anywhere you can buy publicly traded securities. You're able to buy that. For example, Ethereum, it's ETHE. For our digital large cap fund that I mentioned, it's GDLC. And then some of our products like LivePeer, Filecoin, Chainlink, Basic Attention Token, Solana, DeFi, Smart Contract Platform, those are available only as private placements to accredited investors. So it really depends on the product, whether it's better to buy it as a public quotation or as a private placement, and our team is happy to help you work with you on that.
Thank you, Daniela. Brett actually, again, would like to probably, Brett, my suggestion is to reach out because we, Danielle, can you please pop up or can you say it out loud again, your email address one more time?
Yeah, it's
Maybe
just
throw it in the
Danielle@grayscale.com. You
chat.
can also reach out to info@grayscale.com. We have a team, they're amazing, who monitors that inbox. I think they're on the call now.
And Brett, and I also wanted to let you know that as soon as this webinar does end, every single buddy will receive the contact information website for both our companies. If you do want to schedule a call with us and you're new to self-directing, feel free to do so. If you're wanting to learn more about, if you're a current client, please forgive me, and you would like to learn more about the specific asset class, you would reach out to Danielle and her team. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, we're definitely happy to serve as a resource however we can, whether it's on Grayscale products, the broader industry, wherever we can be helpful.
One of the reasons why I love dealing with you, Danielle, is because it's always educational based, which we always preach first and foremost here. Kind of sorry going through it.
Yeah, or if you don't remember the info@Grayscale email, if you go to our website and you click contact right there on the upper right-hand corner, that goes directly to our emails, and we will reach out to you if you submit an inquiry there on the upper right. Yeah.
Sorry.
Under investor login. It's a little confusing.
There you go. Contact. There we go. Sorry, there's a bunch of
just
tags.
Submit your inquiry there and someone will get back to you.
Awesome. Fantastic. So any other questions? Forever hold your peace. All right, no other questions right now. All right, people are shy.
Great.
All right, so again, everybody will receive this email. I'm so sorry, an email with a follow-up. I do apologize. We do have an issue with the recording aspect. We are switching over from GoToWebinar to Zoom starting next week. I'm very excited about that. More people are familiar with Zoom instead of GoToWebinar. That includes our sponsors who have a hard time dealing with GoToWebinar. I know many of you have been accustomed to it, but I think everybody is still a little bit more familiar with Zoom in my personal opinions. If you have any other questions, again, feel free to reach out to IRA Club. We're super happy to have you. Remember, these webinars are for educational purposes only. We want to expand your mind into different opportunities. That's it. At the end of the day, it's all about control, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you guys out in any which way we can. And thank you. Until Thursday, we have another webinar. Make sure to check out our events page. I will see you on Thursday. And Daniela, it's such a pleasure to have you. Thank you. Yeah. I actually learned a lot today. So if we have any other questions here at the IRA Club, we'll always ask the expert. So thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
The information contained herein is intended to help the viewer successfully navigate common IRS and Department of Labor requirements to help achieve successful results from their IRA. The information is not intended to replace information from your legal counsel or income tax professional. IRA Club does not offer or sell any investment. All investments have risk.